Hi, I'm Catherine Johns. This is Bizz Buzz Radio on TV, and my guest is Eileen Kent, who is the Federal Sales Sherpa. And if you're doing federal sales, you need a Sherpa for sure. So I'm curious if you can sum up kind of quickly, what's the #1 piece of advice you would give to somebody who wants to do business with the federal government?
That's a great question. Actually, developing a relationship with the customer, because if you don't go out there and create a relationship with the customer just like you would commercially,
right,
you're not going to get any business with the feds. Same thing.
So that's sales 101,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Develop a relationship with the customer. But if it's the federal government, that's one big customer.
Right.
How do you do that?
Yeah, you have 3 million federal customers out there in terms of selling to the feds. So it will take a lot of ferreting out and getting opportunities with those project managers and those end users. I look at federal sales as calling on a category of customers. For example, when you're selling to small business, you're calling on small businesses. So what I mean by that is if you're calling on the federal government, you're calling on agencies, you're calling on the regional office of that agency or that local office of that agency. So you really want to be able to go after the customers in terms of the project managers on a local level that's in your backyard, and you want to develop relationships with them.
And how would you find out who those people are, even?
That's a great question too. In terms of finding the customers,
right,
there's several ways that you can find them. There is networking events that you can go to. Sometimes the bases have some partnering opportunities. You can get some large businesses that can be mentor proteges to you and get you in so you can subcontract. And other ways is simply walking the halls and actually calling on the agencies and looking for that person.
That sounds like you're talking about cold calls. People hate cold calls, me included. Do you like cold calling?
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
Oh, geez. Well, all right, so tips for cold calling. Okay. So if somebody wants to sell to the federal government or they want to sell to anybody else,
right,
what do you know about cold calling that the rest of us need to know?
Okay, the first way you cold call is if you decide to actually pick up the telephone and make a call to the agency because you have a phone number for the agency. So let's say you're calling on a facility manager. Maybe you're selling, I don't know, you're selling carpeting or furniture or something like that. Just like you would commercially, you would call the agency and you would ask for the facility manager. And if they give you the facility manager, your opening line is simple. I was wondering if you could help me. I don't know if you're the right person. Maybe you can point me in the right direction.
Do you have to have big baby blue eyes and blonde hair to make
this
that
is on the phone. Actually,
I know, but I'm just looking at your face, Eileen. Now, come on.
The funny thing is that you say that is most of the federal contracting officers and 60% of the federal employees are women.
Is that right?
So guys who are lost and looking for help, and women are nurturers, they love to help people.
Well, that's a good tip right there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. They're more than happy to help you. In fact, you're the taxpayer. You're paying them. So if you ask them for help rather than to go into sales mode, they're going to help you.
And so if you ask for help, then you kind of switch it around and go into sales mode later.
Yeah, in some ways, but what I do is I actually interview them to get to know them because there is no way they're going to give me an opportunity right there on the spot. So I basically put all the cards on the table. I say, hey, I am in sales, but you can't possibly be buying for me today. So all I want to do is learn about what the current people that are helping you, what are they doing right, what are they doing wrong, what do you wish they could do more of, and those little areas I call cracks in that relationship, I stick a wedge in there and then I start calling them on that issue that they're not happy with.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Watch out for Eileen and her wedge, all right? Eileen is the, Eileen Kent, I should say, Federal Sales Sherpa. If somebody were looking for you online, how would they find you?
They could find me on LinkedIn at Eileen Kent. They could find me at the Federal Sales Sherpa Show on Facebook. They can find me on Google Plus in the
That's
federal...
a lot of options. I should know. You work with the federal government, right? You've got like, okay.
You try to reach out as much as you can.
So you're everywhere.
Try to be.
In other words, and we can find you.
Just Google me, Eileen Kent, Federal Sales Sherpa, and you'll find me.
Fabulous. And I'm Catherine Johns, and this is Bizz Buzz Radio on TV. We're part of the Linked Local Network. Link locally and connect globally.